I think a lot of times people will assume that all of them came from Pennsylvania. A lot of times people think of Quakers as starting in Pennsylvania. Quakerism actually really started in 1650s England, and within the first 5 or 10 years of Quakers kind of becoming Quakers, they were already making trips to the Americas, to the Caribbean, and to the earliest settlements in the eastern part of what's now the United States. In fact, the first Quakers coming to America were arriving in kind of the eastern shore area of Virginia and Maryland. Virginia was not very hospitable to Quakers. They had much more kind of the established church there. And so while Quakers did settle there and some remained, they did not gain the strength they did in North Carolina. Some of those early arrivals to Virginia sort of slid down into the earliest settlements in the Albemarle region of North Carolina, where others joined them, becoming friends after they had arrived to the American colonies. So the Quakers in Guilford County actually were a combination of some of those initial families who had become Quakers in the 1670s, 1680s, and so on. The next generation moving in the 1740s and 1750s further westward for new land opportunities. Also an influx, a large influx of families coming down the Great Wagon Road from Pennsylvania, some of them perhaps stopping over for maybe a generation or decade or two in northern Virginia, but then coming to settle in Guilford County. So the kind of initial New Garden Friends Meeting settlement was happening in the 1750s, with the Friends Meeting firmly established as New Garden Monthly Meeting by 1754. The really fascinating aspect for people studying anti-slavery in the area is a later significant migration in the early 1770s, when you had Quaker families from Nantucket, Massachusetts, arriving. And that particular group included the Coffin family and several other families, many of whom have stronger anti-slavery leanings than some of the others that are already here in the area. And so all that confluence of Quakers coming from several different regions and backgrounds and experiences coming to this area provided, I think, a chance for more of that dialogue to happen on how to respond to slavery. You also have Guilford County being located in a region of the state that is not as exclusively dependent on slave labor. You still have some farms and mills and enterprises that are being maintained without slave labor. And so while slavery certainly exists, it's not as much of a restricted economic force in this area. So once again, having opportunities for other examples of how to create an economy.